Hello and welcome back, fellow summoners. We are here in the new year to bring an update to the Mega Offense tier list and defense and a bunch of other stuff too. So there is a huge update to the link. Link is already in the description. The current link should already be updated to this new tier list. But we got a whole bunch of things kind of going on here. I'll kind of go over some of the new champs that have been added since the last time. I know I didn't get one in December. I was kind of busy getting this list updated. So to start off with, it's a little bit of a different style. I kind of compressed it a little bit here just so it was a little bit more mobile friendly. Now there's still, you'll still have to kind of scroll left to right a little bit. I can't get it all on one thing. But it is a little bit more mobile friendly now, especially if you just happen to use dark mode. I lightened up the colors a little bit so it kind of helps a little bit in viewing that. It's not bright and right in your face. So that's one of the changes there. One of the other changes too is, so in some of my videos I was showing that there was a comment area for some of these champs here. Went a little bit of a better description on what some of these champs did and why they're ranked the way they were. And unknown to myself here, it wasn't visible to normal viewers. I wasn't aware of that. Apparently you had to have a special role in order to see that stuff. With just the normal viewing roles, you couldn't see it. So I had to transfer it all over from a comment system to the note system, which I played around with. You can now see it, as you can kind of see in the screen here. This is how it'll kind of look like here. So it'll give you... You'll notice none of the symbols are kind of next to the champions anymore. This was once again to kind of compress it a little bit, make it a little bit more mobile friendly. So instead here on the notes, there are attributes. And this will kind of let you know what the champion needs and stuff like that. So if you start up here, there's a little hover thing here. Same keys are on here. If it's a hollowed out star, the champ needs to be awakened. If it's a full star, it needs to be high sig. Now before it was just a star, and then we added like a little little muscle man, arm next to it if it needed to be high sig. I got rid of that one. It's gone completely. So now it's just the difference between the two stars there. The same symbol will apply for the suicide masteries, and if you need skill and everything, stuff like that. So you will notice that some of these names on the list are bold. This is just kind of a quick look to see if the champion does need to be awakened. You can then hover over them and it'll let you know right away, okay, this champion needs, it just needs to be awakened. It doesn't need to be high sig, stuff like that. So it'll let you, give you a little bit more information about what the champion, why they're ranked the way they are and stuff like that. Which is fantastic. That's great. Now everyone can see it. Unfortunately, it wasn't visible before. It was like one of the main things that made this this list fantastic, and you guys weren't seeing it. And it wasn't till about a month or so ago that I was made aware of that. So I do apologize for that, but now you should be able to see it and stuff like that. So, but yeah, go ahead and check it out here. A lot of little notes on here for a lot of these champions. Some of the lesser ones, you'll see that there are notes, but it's just mainly the attributes, like Black Widow, the original one here. She needs to be awakened at a high sig. That's all that's really underneath there. But it is bolded to let you know if they need to be actually awakened for them to be good and compared on this list. A few other things on here too. I used to have it where there was like little notations that if the champion didn't meet a certain requirement, it'd be bumped down the list a little bit more. I did get rid of it. It wasn't necessarily used or needed as much. So just kind of make the assumption that the champion, wherever they are listed on here, is basically at their best capacity as it is. All right, so so that's the offensive tier list here. The defensive side also got the same type of update here. You'll get the notations on some of these champs. As time goes on, I'll start adding more to some of the other champions here. But you'll notice on these ones here, It will give you a little note on, the best placement for some of these champions, the best counters and stuff like that. All that will be notated on here. And like I said, as time goes on, more information will be added to some of these other champs here. But for right now, this is just all the stuff that was currently on the list. It just transferred over to the new system. All right. Now you'll also notice at the bottom here there is a bunch of other tabs that have been added here. So another new thing that has been added to this list is the Relic tier list. Now there isn't too much going on at this moment in time on this list. A lot of these champions, even at their 5-star complete max ability here, they don't make too much of a change for most champions. Some of them they do. Stuff like Juggernaut here, I've seen a couple videos where he's actually amazing if you pair him with actual Juggernaut. I've seen him take down Winter Soldier in like 24 seconds. Do search for that video. It's around somewhere. It's amazing. So some of these champs do make quite a bit of difference, but they need to be high sig. They need to be, usually a 5-star. But even from them, there isn't too much of a difference from some of the other champs. Even if like you got Hulkbuster here and Ant-Man, yeah, they make the champs a little bit better, but the main focus, what I think on some of these too, is just having that ability to have that extra damage. Even like if you're in trouble, most of the time you can kind of hit that Relic button there to kind of send out your champ and kind of give you a little bit more wiggle room to kind of save yourself from damage, or even get a higher combo in. So it's definitely a nice thing to have. And as time goes on, more relics get added and stuff like that. I'm sure this list will kind of thin itself out. But right now we got Wolverine, Juggernaut, Scarlet Witch. Those are the best ones so far that I'm seeing. I haven't seen too much from the other ones. I got Ant-Man myself. I played around with them. Doesn't really do too much, but stuff like that. So as time goes on, this list will kind of shift around a little bit. We'll kind of go from there. Next on, now this is one of the other ones that I love that we added to this list here. So before, with the comment system on a lot of these champions, I also had a link on there on how to use them, and it directed to various YouTube channels and other YouTubers and stuff like that on how to use certain champions here. So with the new notation system, unfortunately, I can't put links in there that are clickable, so I had to put it onto a separate tab. But I didn't want it just to be a separate tab on itself here, because there's a lot of stuff in here that you can kind of look at, and you just simply click and it will bring you right to that YouTuber's channel on how to use certain champions. But one of the other things that are on here that I love is an immunities database. All right, so me and one of our other members in our alliance kind of brought this up, that there isn't really an easy way to filter through certain champs to find out who's immune to what and stuff like that. I know there was an image that was posted, I want to say on one of the Twitter channels about maybe a week or so ago, with different immunities and stuff like that, and it's fantastic. It's great. I would go check it out. I'll probably try to add that link to my description here. But this was kind of an interactive database. Now, just a side note on this. It does not appear to work very well with mobile devices. I don't know why. Even if you put it in desktop mode, it just does not. So right now, this immunity database, you'll see all the check marks and stuff like that, but the filter options themselves doesn't apparently work on mobile devices. I'll try to see if I can get a fix for that later on, but for right now, that portion only works for like that desktop portion. But you'll see here on some of these champs that we're kind of going through here, they're marked down. There's a whole list of immunities here. There's a check mark next to it. Some of these check mark has actually little bits of notations on here. So if you happen to hover over it, or if you click it, if you're on mobile, it'll actually give you a little bit more information about that immunity. There might be certain requirements that are needed for it. Like, for example, Sam Wilson here. he is bleed immune, but it only depends on how many armor buffs he has. So every 25%, he gains 25% immunity. If you have 4 buffs, guess what? You're fully immune. Some other champs here, so like Cosmic Ghost Rider, like Corvus Glaive here. He is Cold Snap immune, but he's only Cold Snap immune if he has any glaive charges. So there's little notations like that. The little filters over here off to the side work together. So let's say if you needed a champ that was bleed and poison immune. So what you go over here is where you click all. It gives us a little option here for true or false. Just get rid of the false option. We want only the bleed champions to be true on the filter. We're going to hit OK. And that will update, and you'll see here's all the list of all the bleed champions here. And let's say if we want to add in, they want it to be poison immune too. So we'll go over here and go poison. We will get rid of the false here. We'll hit OK. And here you go. This is a list of now all the champions that are currently bleed and poison immune. It'll also show you the filters and everything else on how to use them and stuff like that. Just kind of a quick way of just filtering through these champs and seeing what they can do. If you refresh the page, it'll automatically default back to all of them, so you can kind of get rid of it that way. Otherwise, you can go ahead and click in the filters again, just to cancel, and it'll just get rid of those particular filters there and return the list back to normal, which is fantastic. So this list, and there's actually going to be another one that will be coming up shortly. The other member I was talking about, he is creating a document that's going to have this exact stuff on there too, with all the other champion information. So when that list is done and finished, I will send out that link on my channel too, just so you guys have access to it. So yeah, go ahead and check. Like I said, play around with this when you get a chance. Really fun little list. I'm really proud of how it worked out. I know these aren't all of the immunities at the moment. I will add more as time goes on. I just wanted to kind of get some of the basic stuff out of the way here. So, along on this tier list here, the changelog is now on its own separate page here. So, just to kind of go over what has been done since this last list has last been updated. You'll notice, well, of course, there's a new format. Relic tier list has been added. Forgot to add on that the how-to and immunity tab and stuff like that, but we're kind of going over it now. You see it. There's color coding now, so everything that was changed on the offense side. Rocket Raccoon was bumped up to rank A. He's been doing fantastic since his new update. Still a little noodly, but he's got some immunities now and some power drains. So he's got some utility now. He's actually pretty decent. Shang-Chi was bumped up from rank A to rank S. Well deserved. He's a damage master there. Love using him. Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. This was brought up on our community that he needs to be bumped up a little bit. After the votes, he was ranked up from C to B. So, yeah, that wasn't too bad. Spot's been added since then. He's now rank A. Tuma's been added. He's rank C. We didn't get too many votes on him. I still think there's a lot of people that don't really know how to fully use him. So keep an eye on him in the next month or two. He might get bumped up in rank. Same thing for Shuri too. Just there wasn't too many people that are familiar with him or with them. Unfortunately, she is. I know she's great on defense, as we'll kind of get into a little bit more there in a bit. Rintra was bumped up to rank A. He was rank B before. Quite honestly, I still think he might be better off in rank S, but this is the way the votes worked, so that's how it is. And Spider-Man Supreme was added from rank A. Or added to rank A, I'm sorry. On the defense side, Spot was added to rank A. So was Atuma and Shuri. Atuma can't, he gets rid of stuns right away, depending on how many charges he has. Same for Shuri. Shuri's pretty much stun immune. Spider-Man Supreme was added to rank B, and Rocket was bumped up to rank D. He was originally rank F before. His new abilities and stuff like that kind of make him a little bit more of a threat, but not much. So yeah, that's all there, and this will all get ranked, changed and stuff like that. The change list I'll keep as is, so basically all this stuff will kind of move down, and then the new change for the next month and stuff like that will appear at the top and go from there. And then finally on this list at the bottom, just helpful links, disclaimers, and more. Same thing that I try to say at the beginning of this list every time. Keep in mind a lot of these opinions and these tier list stuff, like they're all opinions of just various community members, not just me. So I know some people have made comments, oh, this champ should be, here, they're ranked too low, they're ranked too high, stuff like that. That is up to you guys to change. Come join our Discord server. Make a discussion in the make a tier list channel and just bring up that discussion. Have that champ change yourself. So yeah, this list is all community driven here. So, and then of course there's a lot of helpful links, everything from Aunt May to some of the other YouTubers. These are a lot of the ones that we kind of use for our how-to videos on the tab down here. So go ahead and just click on those, support those YouTubers too. A lot of them are fantastic. But yeah, they're all in one place that you can easily see here. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I appreciate everyone coming out and watching the video and stuff like that. I hope you guys get a lot out of this. Now, especially that a lot of these comments and everything else are now visible. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. Link is in the description. I appreciate you all for watching. You have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye. Subscribe. Like.